14 cars will take the green flag for the restart. Michael Waltrip off track as Jimmy Johnson leads them across.
Jimmy Johnson was the leader. He chose the outside line, but he wasted no time jumping back down in front of Greg Biffle in that 16 car.
Biffle seems to be a pretty good pusher, Larry. He was pushing the 24 there a little bit ago, and now he's hooked here and there with the 48 of Johnson.
I tell you who has really lost the pack, though, Kevin Harvick in that 29 car, the Budweiser car. You see him now working his way back on the outside of Bobby Labonte in the 47. We're riding with him.
Will he pick up Jeff Gordon here? He will. Fast closing rate, but he and Gordon get together, see if they can work back toward the front.
Noticed that a couple of times with the 24 car. He fell back there earlier with him in the 33. Not sure why. Like he doesn't get up to speed real good on a restart.
197, 98 miles an hour at 9,800 RPM. There's 200 going off into the corner.
That is an incredible amount of RPM to be running here at Daytona, where you're holding it wide open all the time. I never thought I'd see the day they'd turn that kind of RPM down here.
They've got a ways to go to catch this first half dozen, and here they come, 2 rows of 3 across.
I tell you, that cat's fast right in the middle.
And he's getting a big push from his teammate Clint Boyer right up the middle.
It's almost like as long as Jeff Burton's got someone pushing him, he has got a fast race car in that 31.
Yeah, if he gets in the right spot and he's got the right guy pushing him, he's going to be the man to beat.
The leader after the first segment has not won this race since Dale Earnhardt Jr. did it in 2003.
And right now, Jeff Burton has the scenario he was looking for. He wants the 33 car. He thinks that he and the 33 are the best tandem, and that's who he wanted to work with, not Kevin Harvick. He didn't say that, but he did say he wanted the 33 to be his mate.
22 laps to go. Everybody paired up at the front. 10 cars strong. Here comes Gordon and Harvick pushing.
Yep, here they come again.
Look at that head of steam they get on whoever is up front. Is not as quick as the cars closing in the draft.
When you get there, nowhere to go.
Look at that other tandem, Ryan Newman in that 39, being pushed by Denny Hamlin in the 11. They look like they've been shot out of a cannon. They're going to try to thread the middle here.
And the middle closes up.
Oh, baby.
That was way too close for comfort.
Whoa, Nelly, hold on to him, boys.
Yeah, she gets a little narrow through the triangle here.
3 wide it does, brother, at 205 miles an hour. But you know, this is still, even at these high speeds, this is still better racing than sitting there running around the bottom nose to tail. We're seeing passing, and we're seeing guys putting on a pretty good show here.
And 3 wide anytime they want on this brand new racing surface that has such tremendous grip.
When they get the cars going so slow with a small restrictor plate, you can't really race anybody. All you can do is just kind of follow people. We see that you can do a lot of racing with this combination.
But next Sunday on Fox, can we keep this up for 500 miles?
I would say they'll try.
I know one thing. These drivers will be worn out at the end of 500 miles. They're going to be tired tonight, but they'll be worn out next Sunday. It's not so physically demanding, it's mentally draining to be able to sit here and run this fast, this close together. Might have a little headache tomorrow.
Looks like Jeff Burton in that 31 car being pushed by Clint Boyer. He's going to go back to his earlier strategy. He's going to try to protect the bottom and stay against that double yellow line.
Biffle in that 16 car, he's a wheel man, and he's wheeling that thing right now, pushing Jimmy Johnson right to the front.
Johnson back to the lead. And if he holds it all the way around to start finish, we will tie the record for lead changes in the shootout. Krista?
Mike, on the track and in the draft is not the only place teammates are teaming up. Also on the radio, when Jeff Burton lost Kevin Harvick in the draft and got Clint Boyer, the first thing Jeff said was, get him on my channel. Clint Boyer and Jeff Burton are now able to communicate with each other as Clint switched over to Jeff Burton's frequency.
I tell you what I liked that I saw just a second ago. Yeah, you've got the 48 Jimmy Johnson and the 16 in Greg Biffle, but it's almost like because the 24 of Gordon and the 29 of Harvick was back there pushing them, they were able to overtake Jeff Burton in the 31.
And listen, there's no rhyme to reason to what these guys are doing. It's not like they really, it's like you get behind somebody, you start pushing them, next thing you know, you're leading the race. And next thing you know, here comes another group.
Yes, look at this closing rate again. 2 pairs of cars just past Jimmy Johnson. Darrell, it's like the old slingshot Petty Pearson days where the last place you wanted to be toward the end of the race was first.
It sure seems that way. It's a little early to tell, but it sure seems that way.
24th lead change, a record for the Budweiser Shootout in its 33-year history as Kurt Busch goes to the front for the 2nd time tonight.
But I think what some of the drivers told us at the break, we're seeing coming to fruition. You have kind of found who your car likes to work with. We've seen that with the 22 of Kurt Busch and McMurray in the 1, and there they are fighting for the lead.
Well, you just got to make, you got to come to some agreement with whomever you're going to run with that we're going to stick together. That's got to be the agreement. And you can't talk to each other. You just know that instinctively.
Kurt Busch is the leader, and now he's the sitting duck. As on the bottom, here comes Ryan Newman with Denny Hamlin, and up the middle, Jeff Gordon. He's got help from Harvick. And look, a lap ago, Kurt Busch was leading, and now he comes across the line in 9th.
I'm not sure what Gordon's doing. Seems to be able to work his way up to the front, then he falls back, and then he tries to, maybe he's trying to work on timing. Where do I want to be, and how long does it take me to get to the front?
Would you like just a minute or so to catch your breath? We're going to give you one more chance and then take you to the finish in the Budweiser Shootout on Fox. Ryan Newman, Denny Hamlin are the lead pair this time around, and as thrilling as it must be to run up and take the lead, it has to be equally maddening to look in your mirror and see another pair coming to snatch it away.
But Mike, these guys are really working well with each other. They see these cars closing 10 mile an hour faster. Nobody's jumping up and trying to block anybody. They're kind of saying, okay, here you come, and we got to give you room or you'll run over and wreck us.
See Jeff Burton in that 31 getting that push by his teammate Clint Boyer in the 33. There'll be 11 laps to go this time.
Riding with Jimmy Johnson, 5th place car.
Just going to stick his nose out the right when he needs to cool off. He will not pass you. 10 to go, I think.
Kevin Harvick in 8th place, pushing Jeff Gordon.
And that was Jeff Gordon's spotter, Jeff Dickerson, telling Jeff Gordon what Kevin Harvick is doing. He's just trying to cool it down a little bit.
Well, if you think about Talladega, what did the 29 do to pass Jamie McMurray? Saw him do it in practice. Timed it where he could dive out right at the start-finish line. I honestly believe that's what the 24 and the 29 have got planned, timing it to be there at the right time to be in front.
Pat?
Mike, earlier in the race, Jeff Gordon was hitting his rev limiter and then becoming disengaged with his wingman. The similar situation now for Harvick. What they're doing, Harvick will all of a sudden jump on his radio and say, check up, check up, check up. His spotter will then tap Gordon's spotter on the shoulder. Gordon will then trail brake so that way they don't become disengaged.
That's a new term you wouldn't have heard on the racetrack at Daytona or Talladega. They became disengaged.
But I think it goes back to co-opetition.
It does. Just please don't disengage me.
Ryan Newman on point. The Rocket at one time in his career was winning the pole every 4 times. Once every 4 times they had qualifying. Denny Hamlin, the runner-up for the Sprint Cup last year, locked onto Newman. Here comes Kurt Busch and McMurray right in their tire tracks.
Once these cars get into the banking, they're real stable. You can really push, and it doesn't seem to move the car around much. Where they're really the hardest to drive is right here where you see right now. Going down these straightaways, the cars want to move around, wobble around a little bit more.
And here comes Harvick with Jeff Gordon. They've worked their way up to 5th and 6th. 9 laps to go, 8 at the stripe. 12 cars on the lead lap to settle it.
A group that's kind of fell back a little bit as we've got 8 laps to go is Jeff Burton in that 31 with his teammate Clint Boyer in the 33. They're about the 4th duo that's back there. You see them right there just going off into turn 1.
Now Burton had led 32 laps tonight. but he's in danger of being out of contention as we have 7.5 to go.
Oh, remember, you can close at 10 miles an hour faster than the guys in front of you. It doesn't take long to make up a few hundred feet.
And I think a lot's going to happen in these last 7.5 laps. Probably a lot of lead changes. But as I watch Ryan Newman in that 39 lead it, the luck he has had at restrictor plate racetracks since he joined Stewart-Haas has been unbelievable. It's been terrible.
25 Daytona 500s have had less lead changes than we've seen tonight.
And right now, it's all strategy. The front four right there, they're trying to figure out who's going to do what, and there's 4 more guys back here hoping that they can chase them down. Here comes Jeff Gordon with Kevin Harvick, and then the 2 children's cars there of the 31 and 33, trying to get back hooked up here and catch these front 4.
6.5 laps to go. That is enough time. But look at these front 4. They're all bottom fishers. They're hugging that yellow line at the bottom of the racetrack all the way through the corners, trying to keep that second group from closing.
Boy, Jeff Burton dove out behind Kevin Harvick and almost lost that thing.
Darrell, it's almost like for a few more laps, Kurt Busch in his 22 and Jamie McMurray in the 1 may be content just to ride there.
Watch this. Watch the 31, the fast cat there. Man, he swerved out, and when he did, he got a little tap from the back. That was almost a big one.
He was trying to pull the slingshot and almost got punted.
And just remember, that replay doesn't do justice. That was well over 200 miles an hour right there.
It's a 4-car breakaway. Newman, Hamlin, Busch, McMurray, Chevy, Toyota, Dodge, and Chevrolet.
This front 4 here seems to be maybe pulling away from Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick back here this next 6.
Well, I think as long as they stay that way for a few more laps, they would be able to fight it out amongst themselves.
It sure looks like they're gapping that next group.
It's the first time tonight that a multi-car draft has pulled away from any pair.
And these pair back there, they keep mixing it up, and that's just going to let that front 4 just pull away even more.
Steve.
Just heard Jamie McMurray's strategy. He told his spotter, Lauren Renier, he said, you tell Kurt Busch's guy, backstretch, last lap, it's go time.
I like it.
4 laps to go as Ryan Newman leads them across.
I think the question is, can this 6-car group back here chase that front 4 down? I just don't think it's going to happen. They gapped them too far.
No, because they keep mixing it up. They were 3 wide last time they came by the start-finish line.